The War Council chamber aboard the Galactic Dominion flagship fell silent as Ambassador Olivia Chen walked through the towering doors. Her footsteps echoed against the crystalline walls, each sound a measured defiance against the 1,000 alien eyes that tracked her movement. Behind her, Commander Alexander Torres stood like a sentinel, his hand never far from his sidearm. The Zarthic High Executor loomed at the center of the chamber, his 4 arms spread wide in what might have been a gesture of welcome or threat. "Human," he hissed through translators, "you dare enter this sacred space after what your kind has unleashed?" Olivia stopped precisely 10 meters from the Executor's platform. Protocol dictated 15, but she had long since abandoned their protocols. "You summoned me to answer for humanity's crimes," she said, her voice steady as starlight. "I'm here to remind you of your own." A ripple of outrage swept through the assembled council members, Zarthic, Velkar, Sharail, and a dozen other species that comprised the Dominion. They had ruled this sector of space for millennia, their peace maintained through careful manipulation and the promise of protection. 150 years ago, Olivia continued, her words cutting through the mounting chaos, humanity made first contact with your Dominion. We were young, naive, barely capable of faster-than-light travel. You welcomed us with open arms. "We showed you mercy," the Velkar representative shrieked, her tentacles writhing with indignation. "We gave you technology, trade routes, a place among the civilized species of the galaxy." Alexander stepped forward, his jaw clenched. "You gave us a gilded cage." The holographic displays around the chamber flickered to life at Olivia's signal. Images materialized, human colonies restricted to barren worlds, trade agreements that funneled Earth's resources to alien homeworlds, human ships forbidden from entering 70% of known space. "For 150 years, Olivia said, her voice rising, humanity played by your rules. We accepted the restricted zones. We paid the tribute you called membership fees. We sent our brightest minds to your academies, where they were taught that humans were the youngest race, the weakest link, the species that should be grateful just to exist in your precious dominion." The Zarthic Executor's mandibles clicked together in annoyance. "You were protected, fed, sheltered, and this is how you repay us? By burning our colonies, by destroying our fleets." "Your colonies?" Alexander's laugh was bitter. "You mean the ones built on human corpses?" New images flooded the displays, massacre sites on human worlds, children lying in streets, entire settlements reduced to ash. The date stamps showed events from 6 months prior. "The colony of New Terra," Olivia said softly, her composure cracking for just a moment. "Population, 2 million humans. Your peacekeepers arrived claiming we had violated trade agreements. When Governor Rodriguez refused to hand over our mining operations for inspection without due process, you deemed it an act of rebellion." The chamber erupted in denials, but Olivia's voice cut through like a blade. "You killed them all. Every man, woman, and child. You classified it as necessary containment of hostile elements. But New Terra wasn't an isolated incident, was it? More images, more worlds, more bodies. Artemis Station, 12,000 dead. Europa Colony, 30,000. The mining platforms of the belt, 90,000. You systemically eliminated any human settlement that showed signs of real independence, real strength. Olivia's hands trembled as she gripped the data pad. You called it peace. We call it what it truly was. Genocide. The Sharal ambassador, an ancient being of pure energy, pulsed with an angry crimson light. You humans always were paranoid. These were isolated incidents, criminal elements within our forces. Isolated? Alexander strode forward, his augmented reality contact lenses projecting evidence into the air. We hacked your databases. All of them. We found the communications, the orders, the strategic planning sessions. This was systematic. This was policy. You committed espionage against the Dominion? The executor roared. We did what we had to do to survive, Olivia replied coldly. Just like we did when we burned your fleets at Alpha Centauri. Just like we did when we atomized your shipyards at Proxima. Just like we're doing right now as human forces reclaim every single world you stole from us. The implications of her words settled over the chamber like a funeral shroud. The Dominion had been at war with humanity for 6 months, and by all official accounts, they were winning. But Olivia's calm confidence suggested otherwise. You want to know humanity's real crime? Alexander asked, his voice heavy with sorrow and rage. We trusted you. We believed in your peace. We raised generations of humans who thought of themselves as galactic citizens first and humans second. And when you decided we were becoming too successful, too independent, too dangerous, you tried to erase us. Olivia stepped closer to the executor, close enough now to violate every remaining protocol. But you forgot something crucial about humanity. We're a species that clawed our way up from the caves. We survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and near-extinction events. We are, fundamentally, survivors. You can't win this war, the executor said, but his voice held a tremor of uncertainty. We already have, Olivia replied. While you gathered here to judge us, human fleets have disabled your defensive networks. In approximately 3 minutes, this vessel will be boarded. You'll be taken alive, tried for your crimes, and imprisoned. The Dominion as you knew it is over. The chamber exploded with panic. Alarms began wailing. The executor reached for his weapon, but Alexander was faster. A single shot, perfectly placed, sent the massive alien crumpling to the floor. As chaos erupted around them, Olivia activated her communicator. All teams go. Let's bring these bastards to justice. She turned to leave, then paused at the doorway, looking back at the council members scrambling for exits that were already sealed. You gave us 150 years of peace, she said quietly. But it was a peace built on our subjugation. You repaid our trust with genocide, so now humanity will give you something you've never experienced before. Alexander joined her at the threshold. What's that? Olivia's smile was cold as deep space. Accountability. The doors sealed behind them, leaving the architects of genocide to await their judgment at the hands of the species they had tried to destroy. Humanity had learned a hard lesson in those 150 years, that peace without dignity is merely slow death, and that sometimes the only path to true peace lies through the fires of justified war. In the end, the Dominion hadn't just awakened a sleeping giant. They'd reminded humanity why they had survived when countless other species had fallen to dust. Because humans, more than any other race in the galaxy, understood one simple truth. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of justice. And humanity would not rest until justice was served.